Welcome to the Horror Friendly Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Horror Friendly Podcast, part of the You Run Podcast Network. I am joined, as usual, by my wonderful co-host, Chantelle.
Hey,
Hey.
can you hear that in the background?
No, I only heard it. You're all good.
We're all good. Perfect.
We're all good.
Oh, hi, how are you?
I'm good, stranger. How are you?
I'm good. Ready for this?
I'm so ready. After last week, I feel like this is the episode we fully need.
Yeah, we literally sat there after last week and we're like, we need a lighter
Yeah,
one.
it was kind of bleak. Like I had to leave quite early, so we really kind of didn't have a chance to chat. So we kind of just covered this bleak film and we are both like, bye.
And now have a good evening.
Yeah.
And I hope you're okay.
Yeah, it was a bit intense. But yeah, hopefully this will, chill us out a bit.
Yeah. Well, let's just dive straight in, shall we? So
Yes.
we are covering the infamous, the 1975, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And yes, it's a horror movie. It's right there in the name. So, a flat tire leaves Brad and Janet stranded on a stormy night. They experience strange incidents when they seek shelter in a nearby castle belonging to Frank-N-Furter, an eccentric transvestite. Katie, do you remember your first time watching this? I don't know why I paused so long. It's the anticipation.
Yeah, anticipation. I don't remember. I feel like I've known this film like my whole life. Like I feel like for me and you, this is the first film that we've covered together that like we've just always knowing each other.
Yeah.
So no, I feel like, yeah, as I say, I think I've just grown up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about you?
So I've like I vividly remember like my parents were going out, and my mum was like, right, you guys can watch this film tonight if you want while we're out. And we ended up not watching it because it had the word horror in it. So both my sisters were like, no, it's going to be scary, and then the parents aren't home. So we didn't watch it. And I was like, I must have been younger because the word horror put us off. But it's also so sexual. My parents couldn't have given it to us too young. So then the next night they were home and my mum watched it with us. And I remember like just by damn it, Janet, we were like, what is this?
Yeah. By
the time warp we were dancing, and by Sweet Transvestite we were like hooked and obsessed, and we were like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I love that. So you just all watched it together as a family?
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Like mom just like gave it to us and was like, we're going out. So I don't know if she was expecting to come home and find us like
doing the time
warp, having learned all the moves, all the words. And again, we probably knew the time warp already because we would have heard it.
Yeah.
You know the time warp even if you don't know the film.
Exactly.
So yeah, I have like vivid memories. And then like
excellent.
We were then at school like obsessed with it, and we were like, we have to tell everyone about this amazing film as if we discovered it. And I was like, I'm pretty sure other people know about it.
And even so, you had, I can't remember, it wasn't for your birthday, was it? But for a Halloween party, you had a Rocky Halloween, you had a Rocky Horror themed party at your house. Yeah. For those who don't know, Tal's house parties were kind of like famous. So, but yeah, it was one year that you decided to do it. And I think you went as Eddie, I want to say.
So no, I went as Columbus. Well, I tried to, and I'm really, because I had like a whole plan in my head. I was like going to make some stripy shorts, and then because I had work that day I didn't have time to do it, so I actually just ended up in a really shit costume, which was fine. When I went as Eddie when we went to see it live.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
I was like, because again I think we went to see it live when we were like 16.
So
there was no way we were going to be wearing underwear. No, we just were. We were like, we're literally teenagers. We can't run around.
Yeah, we're not going to be wearing like now. We would be like full to the brim, like stockings. But yeah, no, back then, no. Like I went as Magenta, and like I didn't like it was a very kind of like modest outfit. I just put a little pinny on basically. But now it would be so different.
And again, like when you're that age trying to like get these outfits together, and we were just surrounded by people who looked incredible. We're there like, I'm Eddie. Like
I've just got my little pinny on foot that's half falling off. Like
it was incredible. But then I did go a few years later with my sister, and it was like a bunch of her mates. So we went as the party people.
Excellent.
It was like such a big group of us. So that's always, I feel like it's quite easy to do one or the other.
Yeah. I seem to remember at your party, it was very much like everyone was wearing like the party hats and kind of suit. So that's quite a good one because everyone knows who you are, like it works.
So apparently that's a thing in Rocky, because obviously Rocky Horror was a stage show first. One of my, like, when we were doing research for this, one of my favorite things was that any of the characters can be played by any gender, but because the costumes are so unique, like, this is a rule, because the costumes are so unique, as long as they have the right costume, absolutely fine. Like, it's one of the few stage plays where when they're putting out like castings, they'll never list gender, because they're like, it does not matter, that goes against the vibe of the film and goes against the vibe of Rocky Horror.
Yeah, what it stands for.
Yeah, as long as you have the costume, you can play that part.
That's so I never even thought about it like that, but yeah, that's so true.
But I love that it's just got this. And apparently, like, the costumes were like kind of scrapped together, and it was like the costume designer being like, I don't know if the costumes that's for the film or if that was like for the stage at the first time. But yeah, because like, you think about, it becomes so recognized by their costume and a top hat and a pinny as opposed to anything else. Like,
it's crazy. Incredible. Well, I wonder if that was more the stage production, because I know when Richard O'Brien wrote it, he was like skint, like he didn't have a job. He just wrote it, I think, just like one winter. And then it got like put up for it was then turned into a musical. But I think by that point it was in probably a really small theatre. Like, it was, and obviously Tim Curry and I think Patricia. Oh my God,
I think most of the cast.
I think Patricia Quinn, sorry. I think most of the cast were in the stage show. Yeah, I think maybe apart from like Barry Boswick and Susan Sarandon, maybe some of them, but like, so that's kind of what makes it really iconic as well, is that they kind of, with Richard O'Brien, they kind of built it from the ground up.
Yeah, and like, they knew the show so well.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, I think with Susan Sarandon, I heard a thing where she turned up one day, she was there to visit, I think it was Tim Curry, because like they knew each other from a previous play, and they were like, oh my God, can you audition? We can't find a Janet. And she was like, oh, but I can't sing. And they're like, we're sure you can sing good enough for this. And they had her sing Happy Birthday, and they went, yeah, fine. And I was
perfect.
Like, I love that they were just like,
that's so good. You got the job.
Yeah, you've got the job. You're perfect. The singing doesn't have to be perfect, which again, it doesn't. Most people are belting this out drunk, like.
Exactly. No, they're just proper belty songs.
Yeah.
Although I will say Tim Curry, just like, I mean, I feel all sorts of ways when I see Tim Curry in this. Like, I'm like, it was confusing sexual time for me.
That's the thing. We all watched it as teenagers, and you're like, there's a lot going on already. Like,
Tell, that's when you came out as bi.
Yeah. It's like, do I want Brad, Janet, Rocky? I don't know. Frank-N-Furter, Meatloaf, like Columbus. Columbus is a babe. Like,
is Columbus?
Columbus is top hat. Is it Columbus or
Columbia?
Columbia. I've called her Columbus for like years.
Well, that works. It works too.
Columbia. Sorry, I should have known. Yeah, I should have known my love's name.
You should have. Yeah, you should have.
Actually, to be fair, I would have happily been a throuple with Columbia and Eddie.
Yeah, like, a very unhinged throuple, but you know.
Oh,
we move.
But it just, although also apparently having Meatloaf in this, so apparently when he did it on stage, so whoever plays Eddie also plays his uncle, because they're not on stage together at the same time. But apparently Meatloaf was the first, but they were like, nobody can get these words right for Hot Patootie, just do your best. And he was like, what's so hard? And they just did it in one go. And I was like, but he is a musician. Like, so again, and like a lot of people who did the stage performance were probably actors first rather than musicians acting. But it just made me laugh so much, because I was like, it does sound like it's written for him. Although the more I deep dive, the more I found out he's a bit of an arsehole, or was a bit of an arsehole. Like, there's some really bad stories. I'm like, wonderful.
Really?
Aren't all the famous.
Wow. Yeah, you just constantly get disappointed these days, don't you? With like people that you thought were cool.
Yeah.
And they're
so you
just
got a great voice. Doesn't mean you can treat people like shit. Like,
oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so I didn't deep dive too far into it, because I was trying to look for the film, not that. But
yeah, interesting.
But
yeah. Oh yes, it's like Meatloaf. Like, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a perfect part for him. Like, that song really suits his voice, and like, he's only in it for a little bit, so all he has to do is just belt out the song and then dies, and then that's kind of him done. And then he's on the table later, but
yeah, we'll get to that bit.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Well, sorry, I feel like we're skipping ahead, because
there's a lot. Yeah,
there's a lot, but there's not. Like, that's the weird thing. There's not a lot going on because, and as well, the songs are so back to back because it's musical. Not a lot happens. It's kind of like a very long music video.
That's true. I mean, I don't know, because like obviously we're going to go through it properly, but you're introduced to Rocky, and then you find out they're all aliens, and so like there's a lot at the end. I feel maybe it's a bit more of a build up at the beginning, because you just think it's just a fun party somewhere, like you don't know.
I feel like when you talk to people about this, so everyone's like hot patootie, sweet transvestite, time warp, everyone focuses on the beginning. And then they just hits a point where nothing makes sense. It takes a left turn, and I don't like the ending, and I don't think I'm alone. That's not like what are they?
That's not a hot take.
That's not a hot take. That's not an unpopular opinion. Like the ending's fucking weird.
It is weird, yeah.
But apparently the original stage play, you say about Richard O'Brien writing it, was 40 minutes. So then they had to bulk it out to try and get it to an hour because it started in the UK, and when like LA and New York wanted their hands on it, and they were like, bring it over here, because it was always like midnight plays and really good vibes. So they were like, we want a part of this. So they had to extend it to an hour. So they bulked it. The time warp was then added in as a bulk song.
Crazy.
Which is insane. But then they had to like obviously bulk it further. But it just feels like they didn't know how to end it. Like they didn't really know the plot. But also this was written because Richard O'Brien was like a huge fan of like the glam rock and horror films,
like science fiction and stuff.
Like science fiction, like the Frankenstein reference, the Dr. Frankenstein references, like fucking King Kong, like all the references are written there. Like it's literally a shout out. It's a love letter to a bunch of horror films, which is you see more in the film because they could do more than they could do on stage originally, but also a love letter to like glam rock. Whereas now it's like an LGBTQIA plus fucking anthem. It didn't start that way. Like that kind of came later, which is funny because there's a lot of like the rainbow tank was not intentional, but I love that it's kind of been taken and been like, this is the best thing ever.
It's really good, and it's really nice that like it's been taken that way, because I think as well, like when you go see it as a musical, like it gives everyone a chance to just dress up however they want to, be whoever you want to be for the night. And I think like that's so nice and so important, really liberating, I think, for everyone. Like I don't know, even if you're not part of that group, like you still feel like you're part of something, like when you go there,
you're taken in for the night. Somebody said like when you first see Frank-N-Furter, he's quite scary. Like he's actually not like a horror villain, but he's like quite scary, with the cloak and but he's so like over the top. But I think that's, as you say, the beauty of it is people fear people who are living their true self. Like he is 100% himself. Like, and that's scary to people, and I think that's really fun, especially Brad and Janet, who are very vanilla, have just come from very traditional wedding. Oh, we met at school and we're gonna get married, and you'll be next, and then the kid, and he's getting like it's all very vanilla, written by the script, and he is the complete opposite. So I love that, actually, that it's like the only thing you're scared of is that you don't know how to live that way. And Frank-N-Furter doesn't give a shit.
No. And it's kind of like at that point we all are Brad and Janet, where we all end up in those costumes enjoying the songs like they do. They fall into their world. So like it's kind of like a reflection of outsiders coming in to this wonderful world and being like, cool, let's fucking go.
That's so true, because the first time you watch this, you're Brad and Janet. The second time you're a party person, because you're like, I know what's coming, we're in this, and you're like, you very quickly evolve to the next step,
and then you graduate to magenta. So
you eventually pick your favorite and then you become them.
exactly.
But I will quickly say as well, like I want to go through the film a bit, but I'm aware there is a lot of problems, problems around Richard O'Brien, like some of the comments he's made now that he's older. So again, like we can either go for that now or come back to that later, because
I'm not aware of it. So
I wasn't, and then I was doing some research and I was like, how can someone who wrote this, like wasn't just in it, they fucking wrote it, and they have said that, you know, part of like this and being allowed to like be themselves because they identify as like a third gender is the way they describe it. But then as they've got older, they've basically turned into this massive boomer and started slagging off trans women and being like, they're not real women. How can you have made Rocky Horror and given all these people and been like, you can be free, be who you want to be exactly who you want to be, fuck the rules, and then turn around and become that as you get older? I don't, yeah.
Interesting.
It was really upsetting to learn because you're like, but you made this.
Yeah, like a very camp, like very universally accepted film, musical, which represents so much. It's an interesting take for him to have.
So there are some people in the LGBTQIA plus community that have moved away from Rocky Horror because of that. Maybe not moved away from Rocky Horror, but definitely away from him. But have moved away a little bit because of that. Some people because obviously it uses the word transvestite, so they've moved away because of that. And then you've got other people who are like, we don't care, like we're claiming the word back, like, and they've kind of flipped it that way. So I think as much as at the moment it's still quite a loved film, we don't know, in 20, 50 years, it could be that people actually don't appreciate it the way that we do right now. And like, you can't really be surprised because there is some stuff in there. But I also, again, it depends who you speak to, depends on their feelings on it. So I'll leave that. I'll leave that there because, again, like, it's up to people to have their opinion and do their research. And I've only barely scratched the surface. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is all the facts, all the information. I don't have it. So, yeah.
Yeah, fair. Interesting. I mean, what are we making of that iconic beginning, like with the lips? I think that's so good because that Patricia Quinn's it's her mouth, but it's not her singing it. It's Richard O'Brien singing it.
Claude Rains was the invisible man.
Yeah, which is so funny because, again, like the lips don't match the voice.
No.
And it's so straight off the bat, you're like, male, female? Like, and again, you're already, again, as a very like vanilla audience, you're like, what's happening? But again, it's like 3 minutes just watching lips sing. Like, iconic.
Yeah, literally iconic. And every time science fiction, like the chorus plays, her mouth just pauses, which is like so of its day. It's so 70s, but I kind of love it. Like, again, it's just iconic and you don't get bored of it, like, because you're enjoying the song. Like, there's something like, I don't know, that draws you in instantly.
There's something weird about watching a mouth.
Yeah,
but apparently it's not her mouth used on the poster.
Oh, okay.
It was a model whose name I have forgotten, Lorelei something. So it was a completely different pair of lips.
Well, they only did that for the film, didn't they? Because in the stage production, it's Magenta comes out with some popcorn and like sings it to you. Yeah. Which I really like, but obviously it needed to be changed for the film because you need to make it film safe, or not safe, but film happy.
Yeah. But also, it's just become such iconic imagery.
Yeah.
That it's amazing. It was Lorelei Shark who was the lips. So can you imagine that? Just like all these years later being like, those are my lips.
Yeah, crazy.
Which is amazing. I love it. I love all the references in there again, straight off the bat, straight into references for horror films.
Yes.
And it's a weirdly catchy song. It's not catchy is the wrong word because it's not like a bop, but you definitely sing along.
Yeah, and like you say, I love all the references, like all the things that Richard O'Brien was influenced by making this film. Just so good. And like, as you say, like he was very influenced by like old school horror pictures, but at the same time like sci-fi, and wanted to sort of combine it into this thing. So yeah, it was interesting. It sets you up for what's going to be an interesting ride.
I think what's nice is if you did not know what you were about to watch and the first scene was the wedding, you probably would kind of be like, yeah, whatever. But because you're slapped with that first, that black and white, it's not actually black and white, but it's very dulled down wedding, doesn't match. So already in your head, you're like, what the hell is happening? What's about? What's coming? So I really like that it's just like completely immediately is like, you don't know what's happening.
Yeah, because they have to start Brad and Janet's story from somewhere. But yeah, as you say, like they've started off with the lip, so you're instantly drawn in, and then you're like, oh, okay, I can go with the wedding. Like they go into song, like you can keep up with it because it's very fast paced. Like it's very much like all of a sudden they're at the castle and like so it's nice. Like it doesn't dwell too much on the wedding, but I do think the Brad and Janet song, I think that's so good. Like it is really funny as well. Like it's just they're just really likable as well, and it shows how kind of goofy they are. And like she just instantly goes to the ring and just kind of ignores Brad completely, and like
they both just keep running away from each other. Like it's so awkwardly funny. But I love that, and immediately like, oh, it's bigger than Benny Monroe has, and it's like immediately comparing to other people, which again is such a like thing that people do because you're not happy with your own life because you don't know, and it's just like
it's very relevant, isn't it?
But as well, like they as you say, they were quite a funny couple.
Like,
and then they're like, I don't know, very cold, not cold with each other, they're very weird with each other at the beginning. But it just makes me laugh as well when it's like his mate's like, oh, you'll be next, and Brad's like actually stroking his chin. And I'm like, what is happening?
Well, I think it's meant to all be very like exaggerated. Like they're meant to be like, great Scott, Janet, Dr. Scott, very much like overacting. Like I think that was kind of their role in this. Like when she's having that dilemma after she sleeps with Frank-N-Furter, and she's like, my Brad, no, like it's all very over the top. But I think it's meant to be.
Yeah, to be fair, if it's come from the stage, yes. But there's a couple of points in this which are really subtle, which I fucking love. There's like the bit where Frank-N-Furter asks her what she thinks about Rocky, and she looks at Brad first, and then she's like, I don't like too many muscles. But they don't make a big deal of it. She's just like, I like men without too many. Like, do you know what I mean? And I was like, but it's subtle. Whereas, like you say, so much of this is over the top, and then she's just
it's weird.
And then
like
there's
a weird combination of both.
Yeah, because then there's a bit where like she changes her mind mid-song, and she's like, I'm a Muscle fan, but she steals the line from Frank-N-Furter. And he's like really shocked and angry and turns around, and I'm like, but it's so good because that was in the script. Like he knew it was coming, but Tim Curry's Tim Curry, so he made it work. And it just made me laugh because I was like, some of these moments are very subtle, mixed in with all of this chaos. I love it.
Yeah, so good.
And especially, and like even actually back at the beginning scene, like they're like when they're like, oh, we're gonna get married, and like, damn it, Janet running around, and then they're like, the three people are just bringing in a coffin. Like again, it's just like shit that's happening around them. And
because that's Richard O'Brien and Patricia Quinn, isn't it? And Columbia.
Yeah, because Tim Curry's there as well.
Oh yeah,
because that's it. When you then go to the narrator, he's like circled and arrowed them, but it's never explained why they're there because God forbid we know what the hell is happening in this film.
I guess it's like insinuated that they broke down the car and like they were going to entice them into the castle, and like I guess like they had their eye on them from the beginning, kind of thing.
Like that's the thing. It's like, oh, you're so lucky to be invited up to his lab, and it's like, well, actually, like, didn't you guys force them to be here? Like,
it's so good.
It's madness.
It's madness.
But I love it. But yeah. I do love actually when Riff Raff opens the door and it's just like they've run out in the rain. It's like, you're wet. And it's like, please let us in. It's raining.
You're wet.
Yes, it's raining.
And then Magenta's like, he's lucky, I'm lucky, we're all lucky.
He's lucky, I'm lucky, we're all lucky.
I, even knowing she's there, almost missed it when I rewatched it this time. And I was like, it's like, I know she's there, but I think the first time I watched it, we missed her. Because you just don't realise she's on the bloody banister.
No, you don't. Because she sort of like has her head down as if she's asleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's not. Oh my God, though. Like I think I'm literally 31 years of age, but since I watched this when I was a kid, I've always just wanted to be her. Yeah. Like I've wanted her hair color. I dyed my hair like a dark red once to just be like her. I just wanted like the makeup, the aesthetic. Like I just was in love with her, and I still am. Like she's still goals to me. Like I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I just want to be her.
We need to go see this again, though. To be fair, and you can be Magenta, and I'll be like Columbia. I'll be like, Colombia. I can't say a
Yeah.
fucking name.
I feel like we really need to get into this, and then I will, have my fix.
Because like, this is the thing, we've done it before, but it's just been a while. So I feel like, and again,
Yeah.
bear in mind we grew up in Brighton, and between Brighton and London, it's not like, the two places where it's really quiet and subtle and nobody knows about Rocky Horror. Like,
Exactly. Like literally not even that long ago, they were showing it in Brighton, and I was sat, funnily enough, just outside having a drink. And everyone, you could see everyone dressing up and like going towards the Theatre Royal, which is where I was. And everyone was getting there, and it just made me so like, I got major FOMO. I was like, I should be there right now.
It's like, has anyone got a spare seat? Like, I will join in. But it's so good. It's so good live.
It's so good.
But when you watch the film as well, there's so many like pauses that you don't realize. But then when you see the show, the pauses are there deliberately for the callback from the audience. But they've kept it in the movie because when they do this as a midnight showing, they've got a shadow cast, and you still do that. But we don't really get the midnight movies over here. I think that's more America.
No, I wish we did.
I wish we did. I feel like Brighton. Come on.
Yeah, well, I remember in lockdown they did like open air cinemas, like when you couldn't be indoors, and I went to a few of them, and I never went to Rocky Horror. I think I went to Lost Boys and a couple of others, but yeah, like it's such a good fit. Like they should do it more. I feel like I know the UK doesn't get great weather, so it's quite difficult to. It will just always be raining.
It just be like
when it works, it's great. So they should do it more.
But I mean, it was raining at the beginning of the movie, so it's just realistic. I'm genuinely looking up where is doing an open screen. I'm sorry, I'll do that later.
Absolutely, no. I mean, do it
sorry, we're just gonna take a pause while we plan our next.
My mother is pouring me some wine. Sorry.
Too bad. I've got cider in the fridge. I was going to grab one. I forgot.
I need to live up to our name.
I know.
Wine is in our bio, so I need to do it.
I know, one of us.
But anyway,
got where we were. Anyway,
yeah, sorry.
No, you're grand. But that was it. And then obviously they get there.
Yes.
How do you feel about the narrator actually? Because we did just mention him.
Yeah, I like him, but again, it's kind of like everything kind of stops for a bit. Like he's in the library, and I wonder maybe. I mean, I'm being really picky here because I love this film, but maybe it goes on for slightly too long, and it's sort of. He talks for, I don't know, because also it's an older film. Everything, the audio is a bit quieter as well, and you do sort of, for me, I lose interest a little bit.
Yeah,
like just when he's talking, because he talks quite a lot, and then I'm like, let's get back to it. But I thought he was good. Like obviously he's important to the film, but I just thought that beginning bit was maybe a bit too like, yeah, come on, let's get on with it now.
I feel like he is definitely a reference to like the stage. Because obviously it was the narration and stuff, but I also feel like I thought he was going to be so much more a bigger part of it, and that sounds stupid, but because the film has no plot, like I remember watching this and being like, well, he's going to be the one explaining what's going on, and he wasn't.
Right,
he had a case file, but he didn't have any answers.
Yeah, that's true. He literally was just narrating it. Like he didn't have an opinion. Or
no, he knows the time warp, but outside of that, like
outside.
Just a jump to the left. I do love that because everyone, that's how they sing it now. It's like, oh, it's just a jump to the left.
It's just a jump to the left.
Yeah. Dr. Scott was more like, guys, you need to get out of this place. Like, at least Dr. Scott was trying.
So this is it. Like, you're Brad and Janet. You've just turned up. They've done the time warp. You've now met Frank-N-Furter, who's invited you to his lab. People have now taken off your clothes. Do you stay?
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm not going outside of my head. But I just can't. Like, the fact that Brad was just like, yeah, take my clothes off. Like, he was way too relaxed.
Well, I just love that though, because he's so in it. He was just kind of like, oh, don't worry, Janet. This is obviously what these folk do. Like, he was so like just accepting. And whereas Janet was like,
But then when they go upstairs and he's like, oh, you should be happy for our hospitality. He's like, hospitality? We just wanted a phone call. And Brad loses his shit. And I'm like, hang on a second. 2 minutes ago, you were more than happy to like be here. I don't know. It's just bizarre.
The bit I really liked just before that as well is when Magenta and Riff Raff are giving them cloths to dry their hair in. And it's also with blood. It's just so like, I can see, well, obviously I've seen it, but it's so great how it comes across on stage, but also it really works in the film because it does bring back that horror element as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, because whose blood is that? Is that from Rocky?
Exactly.
Is that from Eddie? Is it from someone else?
Someone, probably one of their other like victims.
Yeah, probably. Like that's the thing, there is horror in this. It's just
Yeah.
not taken very seriously because it's a musical.
No.
Yeah.
But I like that, and
It
you
is
know,
a
we
good
won't get onto it, but like when Eddie dies, when Frank-N-Furter kills him, like that turns very kind of, I want to say like dark for a
Mhm.
little bit, where like, yeah, Columbia is distraught and like there is like a strong element of horror there.
And I think, and again, that comes back to like Frank-N-Furter does not care. This is
No.
his castle, these are his people. Like he literally was like, I don't need Eddie anymore. I'm sick of him. I'm just going to kill him and no one's going to stop me.
Yeah.
And he literally murdered him in front of 20, 30 people.
Yeah.
And no
And
one
everyone was
only Columbia screamed. Everyone else just didn't care.
mm.
And it was
'Cause-
like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Because is it not right that Columbia was like a fan and she's a human, so she was a fan of
Frank-N-Furter.
Frank-N-Furter, so like joined the group. So she's not actually from Transylvania.
So I would say yes, but the only clue we really get is in the time warp when she's like,
Yeah.
I was walking down the street, snake of a guy gave me an evil wink. So that must be Frank-N-Furter.
Yeah.
And then later on, she's like, I loved you. You tossed me aside.
Yes.
Then
yeah.
you did the same to Eddie. So they obviously got together.
Yeah.
And now he's made Rocky because neither of them were good enough.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do think, yeah, she's kind of been brought into this world.
Yeah, but sorry, but yeah, so that
you're
seemed
right.
like, yeah, again, like a really randomly like dark tone
Yeah.
it took when Eddie dies. But yeah, like, and even when Frank-N-Furter comes in, like behind them when he's about to sing Sweet Transvestite, and like Janet faints, and it kind of gives that kind of universal monster kind of vibe.
Yeah, because he comes down like a vampire.
Yeah,
Like
it's like Bela Lugosi's Dracula, like what we covered.
It really is. And then it's the fishnet and the corset, and you're like, okay, this took a different turn, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, you wouldn't see Bela Lugosi doing that.
No, never say never. No, probably too late now. But I actually forgot. Like, it sounds really stupid. But like, obviously, during our teen years watching this, I just thought that's a great song. He's done it really well. But watching it again as an adult, you're like, fuck me, he can sing.
I'm not much of a man by the light of day, but by night I'm one hell of a lover.
Yeah.
Like, I think rewatching it, I was like, I've known this song for years, but I was like, I really new appreciation for actually how good he does in that. But he is giving like 250%.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's amazing. Like he's got an incredible voice. Like to me, he's like the best in this film. Like just voice, just the way he is. And I think this was just a part that he was born to play. Like his facial expressions and just the way he is, like he's a villain in this essentially, but you just like end up loving him. Like you can't not.
Even at the end when it's like, you almost feel sorry for him because of like everything, but you're like,
Yeah.
but you, like you said, but you were the bad guy. Kind of what was happening? Were you bad? Yeah. Like he was definitely bad. He took half of Eddie's brain, but and then he was, kept seducing everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he was a villain, but like a lovable villain.
Yeah. I mean, how many villains are we obsessed with?
Yeah, exactly.
And then we get to meet Rocky.
Yay!
Which again, definitely well, I don't know, is that a mummy reference? Dr. Frankenstein's monster reference?
Yeah, it's gotta be, hasn't it?
Yeah. Although apparently, sorry.
No, but the mummy is also correct because the way he like unwraps him.
Yeah. And it's just like spinning like during the song. I have completely blanked on
Sorry.
his name. No, you're fine. Who played? So Peter Hinwood played Rocky, but it's not his voice. So they completely dubbed over him. Apparently they didn't like his singing voice. Or when he speaks, which is like minimal line, but I think he had like one line. So they dubbed it, and I don't know with who. So he was
just from his looks.
He was just a pretty package, which I don't know how I feel about that. But apparently he runs an antique store now, and then he did actually find his little golden shorts at some point, and he sold them to the Hard Rock Cafe in Las Vegas.
Love that. Yeah, I read that he's all right. I think well, I don't know, but he said in a statement once, like he was like, "I've retired from acting because I can't act, and I can't sing, so I'm just better off doing something else." Like he said it very matter of fact, and then yeah, like as you say, sold his gold pants for like £1,000.
Is it £1,000? I thought it was more than that. I was like,
Oh, I read £1,000, but yeah, we'll fact check. But...
No, I couldn't find a number, so I'm glad you've had that. Oh, but
I thought it would be more too, but
he could have sold them, made a fortune, especially to the
yeah.
Hard Rock Calf. Like they have the money. Like, but again, like if he just was like, I just don't need them. £1,000 is good. Like, maybe if he's comfortable, fine.
Fair play. Yeah, if he's got rid of them and that's what he wanted.
But love that for him. Oh, that's really funny. And yeah, because I forgot that the Make Me a Man song is basically 2 songs with Hot Patiti in the middle.
Yeah, because Frank-N-Furter gets back up and sings it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like Frank-N-Furter's back, the attention's on him again. So it's like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, it's like, oh, forget about that thing I just did. Listen to this song and look at this beautiful man. It did feel a bit Hercules, to be fair.
Have to continue to grow. Now that's more like it.
It's like, I can make you a man in 7 days. And then he takes his 1-day-old husband, Mulan.
I'll make a man out of you.
To be fair, I'll take either. And then, takes his 1-day-old husband into the bridal suite, which questionable.
Yeah, well, yes. Morally, are we going to go there? I mean...
Like, I know he's technically an adult, but although what's funny is like Rocky being born and then not being able to speak because he hasn't learnt words yet. He doesn't know how to clap, so he's just banging things. But he sang a whole song with the full English language. Like,
make it make sense.
This film doesn't make sense.
No, don't even try.
You can't watch it sober, let's be honest.
No. Yeah, this was probably the first time I've watched it sober, I think, rewatching it for the pod.
Yeah, actually when I was a teenager. But yeah, so it's just mad. And again with Hot Patootie in the middle, which was apparently like the riskiest scene to film because like riding the motorcycle over tiles was just really slippery. Like that gash on Meatloaf's head I think was real. Like I don't think he fell off the bike though. I think it was on the stuntman, but it was like he'd done something, like maybe he fell in a practice and it was just like absolute carnage. It just kept hurting everyone. So yeah, good scene. Fucking appreciate that scene because it hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, it is iconic. So I feel like everyone's got the most out of it that they can.
Although, how did Frank-N-Furter catch him when he had a motorbike?
I think, didn't he like corner him or something and then cornered him with the axe? Something like that.
He like cornered him back into the freezer. Because to be fair, he was in a room that was nowhere to run.
Yeah, no. It wasn't. Yeah, no one was going to save him or rescue him. So,
no.
Yeah.
But that would be, I think that's where in the play they cut it, is like Rocky and Frank-N-Furter go off and then they that's the halfway point. But then it's bedtime, which also doesn't make any sense because then we have dinner time.
Yeah, that's true.
So, again, because I'm first time watching it sober since I was a teenager, never occurred to me.
They're from another planet. They don't know.
True. Maybe it's like a siesta and then you wake up and have dinner. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. And yeah, Frank-N-Furter has not, he's not tired after the whole Rocky situation. So he's come back for more with Brad and Janet.
Yeah. I actually love those scenes because it's like the same dialogue with both of them.
Yeah. It's shot really beautifully as well. Like it's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same room, different lights.
Yeah.
But not completely consensual, like how it starts. It's not consensual how it starts because he lies about who he is. And then once it's revealed who he is, he's like, are you still game? But it's the fact that both of them are like, just don't tell the other one. It's like, wow, you two are pieces of shit. Like,
yeah, literally, like their wholesome relationship has just gone to shit in like the last hour?
Yeah,
2 hours?
I don't think they're ready for marriage.
Yeah, I really don't.
If your entire relationship can be ruined in one night. Well, I mean, I know it's Tim Curry, but in one night with Frank-N-Furter, then, you know.
Yeah, then maybe you need to rethink some things.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I do love, obviously, Janet, as you said, like having a meltdown in the lift. And then when she then finds Rocky, but then we go to Columbia and Magenta, like watching it on a screen and having like a slumber party. And I was like, that feels like you and me.
Yeah, it really does. It's just like, what's going on? Like, Columbia's already over Eddie, it seems. Like, it's just sort of like...
She didn't walk for long.
No, but
she's
yeah,
with Magenta now. She's good.
Yeah, but it is so good in touch me, because like they are like kind of making fun of her as well in the background and saying things like more. I want more. Like they're like, and you can just tell that like, I don't know, you've kind of got like, you've got like Janet's situation and then theirs. It's just so good.
It's so good. And I just love it at the beginning where it's like, I can't remember the line, but Janet basically like, never been touched, and Columbia's like, she was I'm like gobsmacked by this.
You mean
so vanilla. I only keep using that word because I don't know what else to call them. Innocent. Like, again, they're just realizing what world they've brought them into, and they're like, wow, learn.
Yeah, they couldn't believe it, like that these like innocent people have been brought into this insane world.
I do love touch me. Again, this is what makes me question how old was I when I watched this, because I should not have been like singing some of these songs. But yeah, I'm sure my parents did a great job.
We won't get into that.
We won't get into that because I can't remember. I was probably older than I think I was.
Your parents are wonderful. So.
Yeah, but I can't actually remember what age I was. Fine, like
you turned out more right. Yeah. We won't get into that either.
We don't have time for my therapy session as well.
Same. Fuck me. It would be like a 5-hour podcast.
Are you two okay? No, but we haven't got the time.
That's what we do when we meet up. We're like, we're not talking about it, but we're just going to get drunk. It's a very healthy friendship. Do
you want to think about it or drink about it? And it always goes the wrong way. We're healthy adults. We're well-rounded.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. Katie says drinking about it. Where were we? Oh, Touch Me.
Yes. Touch Me. Yeah, great song. One of the best, I think, in the film, right? In the musical. Surely.
It's gotta be. Apparently, Susan Sarandon was asked if she would be naked during that song, and she said no. And I was like, absolutely valid, because like no one else is. But she has been naked in other films, and she was like, well, no. And I don't think it was necessary. I don't think
wasn't. Yeah, no. I think that's really good. Like when you, as an actor, if you choose to be, then perfect. Like good for you. But it should always be like you should never feel pressured or. No. Yeah, and like you say, like it wasn't necessary. Like it gave off the same vibe with how she was anyway, so it didn't matter.
I think as well, like it doesn't even matter. Like, oh, you've been naked in other roles, because it's like, yeah, but does it fit the script? Like, am I just naked for the sake of it, or is there actually a reason? I can't remember. There's an actor who said that, where it's like, I think it might be Ewan McGregor, but I think it was like he doesn't really see being naked in a film as a problem. He's like, I get changed every day. I'm naked every day, but it has to fit the story.
Yeah,
like I'm not just naked. So I was like, I think that's completely valid.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you say that, because we even said that in Thelma and Louise when wasn't Thelma? Thelma was meant to be naked. And then it was actually Susan Sarandon that was like, why? So that's interesting. Like it's followed the pattern where she, rightly so, sticks up for herselse and for her and co-workers. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I love her.
I know.
Because then, because then Rocky. Well, I say Rocky gets out, but they do the whole fucking again, Frankenstein's monster scaring him with fire.
Oh yeah.
Those two are arseholes, to be fair.
Yeah,
they are. A prick.
Also, they're like in an incestual relationship, so
yeah. There you are, like, I want to be Magenta, and I'm like,
yeah.
Cool.
I want to be magenta minus the incest, okay?
Minus the incest and the bullying of poor Rocky. But she's been busy because she was like, she's having a sleepover and then coming out cleaning the castle. So I don't know, maybe she was on a break. But yeah, so they get him out, and it's just really funny when they're like, Frank-N-Furter, he's got out and he's like, coming, and he's like got a mouth, very clearly got his mouth full. And it's just like
Coming.
it just cracks me up.
But it's so much worse in the play. Like it's way more sexual. I feel like so sexualized. It's great. It's like really funny, but like I feel like it almost toned it down in the film. Like on stage, it's so heavily implied.
Which is weird because like they still implied it. They just did it with like shadows. But like you say, when it's on the stage in front of you, there's no escaping it. Like, it's right there.
Yeah. There was one, I've watched it a couple of times, but there was one stage production I watched where Magenta just stands there and has an orgasm, and it goes on for like a minute. You're just watching it.
I don't think I was with you for this one because I don't remember that.
I promise I was at the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But yeah, and then everyone just kind of awkwardly laughed afterwards. It was really weird. But it fit what was going on. But it was just like, okay, sure, whatever gets you there.
Sure, okay. As I said, I would love to know the context, like where they put that in, but
I think maybe it was like a filler, like I think they were like setting up for the other thing, and then she just walked past, and then it was just like a funny bit that they did in between. It was weird. I mean, it worked for the play, but it was yeah.
I love it.
You just embrace it.
Just go have a quick orgasm.
Yeah.
Because that's what women are famous for.
It's so not true.
Anyway, and then we go on to the dinner scene, which is actually no, sorry, before the dinner scene, because then Frank-N-Furter comes out really pissed off with Riff Raff, very quickly realizes that Janet and Rocky have slept together, and then is that when he sings at Janet?
Janet Weiss, your apple pie don't taste too nice.
You better wise up.
Yeah.
I did not realize until this time watching when he's like, your apple pie don't taste too nice. I didn't realize he meant cunnilingus.
Really?
I thought this whole time, I thought that was like an American just expression, like, because it's like, oh, you make like apple pie life. So I thought he was basically slagging off her life, being like, you're like calling her boring, but in a fancier way. And it wasn't until this time I heard it, and I was like, hey, I've missed that for years. I've never called it apple pie. I was like, what? I missed that. And I'd love to know. I don't think I'm the only one.
Okay. And maybe I've just got a dirty mind. I don't know.
Maybe, but this whole time, I just thought it was like the apple pie life, like American reference.
Well, I just assumed because obviously they literally just done that, like it was heavily implied in the previous scene. So it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like,
yeah, but she slept with like, do you know what I mean? I was like, she's moved on, and I just didn't even. I was like, but so is he. Like, I just didn't even clock for years. And I watched it this time, and I was like, wait, what?
What did they say?
Has that line always been that? Like, I don't know how I missed it. I do not know. But I'd love to think I'm not the only one. So please let me know.
No, you're not. I'm sure you're not.
But he's also just being bitter because...
Yeah.
And
now from here, like I watched it a couple of days ago and I get really confused with what happens from now on.
It's just batshit.
Yeah, like it all goes a bit weird, doesn't it? Like even more weird.
I mean, this is the thing. It now goes weird, but it just doesn't really summarize or... Because all of a sudden,
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Because all of a sudden, Dr. Scott turns up. That Brad and Janet happen to know, so it's oh my god, it's a conspiracy. Then they're all going to go have dinner and have a midnight dinner.
Yeah.
Then he's like cutting the turkey or whatever meat with the fucking electric knife for like 10 minutes while no one's speaking. I love this film. It makes no sense. I love it. Then they reveal it's Eddie all along.
Yes.
Which like. His body was way too decomposed, considering he only got killed earlier and he was in a freezer.
He should be looking great.
He looks like 6 months done. And I'm like, now hang on a second. And it also was very obviously plastic. I know it was low budget, but like massive gripe on that one because I was like, why does he look Like his face looks so decomposed, and I was like, he should be fresh. He should look
It's not
like
realistic.
He should look like he's sleeping with his stomach cut open. Like,
Yeah.
So that was a bit weird. And then obviously like they're all realizing it's bad, and then he just starts like gluing people to the floor and freezing people. I think at this point they did not know what to do.
No, you're right. Actually thinking about it, I've never really thought about it. Like I've kind of just always gone with it. Like, yeah, this is a thing that happens. But you're so right. Like, I do fully agree with you on that, that clearly they didn't know how to end this. Like, and like you say, like all of this works fine for a musical because it's very theatrical, it's very visual, so it's fine. But for a film, I don't think it correlates as well. I don't think it links as well.
Yeah. I think as well, because like even that song, and I am skipping the end because like I barely ever remember the end, but like there's like a whole burlesque show kind of thing, and then all of a sudden they're all swimming in the pool, and I actually like I don't even vibe with that song very much.
Yeah,
like,
Don't Dream It Be It.
That one I don't really care for it. Like it's fine, it's just the others are better.
Yeah, I do like the one on stage where it's like, it was great when it all began. Yeah.
Just a
regular fan. But yeah. Yeah, so no, we don't have to get into that bit, but yeah, I agree. I think maybe they just and then but I think it just ends basically with Magenta and Riff Raff going back to that's what they wanted all along. They betrayed Dr. Frank-N-Furter and just wanted to go back to their planet.
Yeah.
So I think it then at that point is just Dr. Scott, Janet, and Brad who are kind of just left to.
Yeah, because they kill Columbia.
They kill Columbia and they kill
who could have got away with it had she not screamed.
Yeah, she could have. Yeah, that was annoying. And also, I felt like, she was done dirty there. Like, she literally could have just escaped or like, she didn't really need to die, but.
And then massive King Kong reference with Rocky trying to climb away with Frank-N-Furter. But also, I love how 80s, it's like ray gun and it's literally like drawn in the lasers.
Well, this was like late 70s, but like
70s, not even 80s.
But exactly. It was very kind of like, it's very sci-fi at that point, isn't it? Like with the lasers and what Columbia and what Riff Raff and Magenta are wearing. Like and with Magenta's hair, it's now like the Frankenstein's Bride reference.
I love it.
Which is great. So like, again, bringing it back to those horror, like it's very, now that like I think about it, it's very universal horror, I feel.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah.
But again, I think somebody else was like, I didn't know they were aliens for like half the film. And it's like, I mean, at one point they were like earthlings. But also they literally were like, we're from transsexual Transylvania, but they don't specify Transylvania as a planet.
No. How would you know? No. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'd only find out at the end, really, when it all goes completely fucking insane.
When the entire castle goes away and you're like, And then they are just left like crawling around and it's like, well, this makes no sense. It's
sorry. No, you go.
No, I was going to say it's literally just weird. That was the end of my sentence.
Weird. Talking very briefly about that castle, we have another trip to make, Chantelle, because this castle was a real castle called Oakley Court.
I knew it was real.
And it looks lovely. It's right on the River Thames.
Oh.
Set between Royal Windsor, and we need to add that to our list of horror places to visit.
Indeed.
It looks very nice.
Because they filmed quite a few films there, like Universal Horror ones. Because I think I just didn't realize this was filmed in England.
Right.
Like I know it was a UK play, or it started here, but I just don't think I'd registered that it was filmed here.
Yeah.
Which sounds so stupid, but yes, we will add that to the list.
Absolutely.
We'll go in fishnets just to be extra.
For sure.
But I think it was in Men in Black as well. No, wait, maybe not.
Oh, really?
Black. I say things and then I have to question myself. Oh no, sorry. Hammer. So like you say, early horror. Shot 5 films there, including The Man in Black, not The Men in Black.
Oh.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. But they use the exterior location, for example, in The Bride of Dracula, The Plague of the Zombies, The Reptile, The Odd Dark Horse, quite a few others.
Oh, wow.
The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Amazing.
So yeah. So we will definitely try and make a stop by there.
100%. 100%.
But yeah, the ending is batshit. There's nothing really else to add on it, if I'm honest, because it's not the part anyone remembers.
No, basically no.
Although I will say, I do love when Magenta just looks at Riff Raff like, why did you kill him? He liked you.
Yeah.
You killed them.
But I thought you liked them. They liked you.
Yeah. I know, but like she's not bothered, like whatever.
No, she's like, you do what you need to do, but why? Like,
yeah,
she's so good. Yeah, no, fair.
So good.
Yes. Did you have any other fun facts you found for us?
I don't think so, actually.
So we've definitely sprinkled them throughout.
I think we have, yeah, you especially. I don't think there's anything that comes to mind. Obviously, if there's anything I remember, I'll add it on the old Instagram. But no, don't think so.
Nice. As I say, there is so much with this film that it's just we could literally, this could be an 8-hour episode and we still wouldn't have managed to cover everything.
Yeah, no.
So it's just crazy. Although actually I will say that with the costumes, when they were doing the swimming pool scene, apparently it was Baltic cold. And again, England, we don't have the best. I mean, at the moment it is very, very lovely, but this is not the norm. And it was really cold, and they had to have like 2 of every costume for the ending, because every time they were getting out of the pool, they were having to change because like they couldn't stay in the wet clothes because it was like dangerous. But then obviously because they had to keep shooting, so they had to have like one set of their costume like being dried as quick as possible while they were filming in the other. And I was like, that's
shit,
rough.
Yeah, that sucks.
Fair play to them, because they all looked amazing, and they just, they did. It's a weird ending, but they did their best. Despite fucking pneumonia.
Yeah,
so
they did it.
What would be your favorite spooky moment, and what are you giving this spookies out of 5, do you reckon?
Favorite spooky moment. I'm gonna say when they wipe their faces with the bloody cloths, because I think it brings it back to horror a little bit, and it's really kind of like camp and funny, and I just really love that bit.
Yeah.
I'm giving this a 5 spooks. Like, not spookies. Like, not only is it just really nostalgic for me, and it means a lot to me and you as well, like it is a big part of our friendship, but also I just love it. Like, it's one of my favorite musicals ever. Like, I still love it now. I would still go and see it. Like, I have a lot of time for it, so to me it's a fucking great film. But yeah. What about you?
See, I think my favorite spooky moment is going to be Sweet Transvestite.
The whole thing, like the
whole song. Just when you first see Frank-N-Furter,
it is incredible,
and it's just that whip off the cloak, like, oh, it's incredible. And I think at that point, like I said, like that was when I was like, this is incredible, we're obsessed. And I think it's amazing. I feel like I can't give it a 5 because I'm literally sat here going, the ending's bad.
Yeah, true.
But I also, like you say, have so much time for this film. I have so much like good connections with this film. Any other score feels wrong, so I just don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, how can I sit here and be like, half a movie is rubbish, but the other half is so good it makes up for it?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't think it's rubbish. I just think it doesn't really suit the rest of the film. But I can take that. Like, I'll sit through that.
Yeah,
because I love this film.
It's such a cult classic, but somebody said it really well. Where it's like, you can't write a cult classic; the cult has to follow. So like, you can only do your best. And I was like, but it speaks so much that this went from a 40-minute play to an hour and a half. Fucking incredible film, incredible production. So I am going to give it a 5 because I think for what it's done, it's incredible.
You've convinced yourself.
I have. Despite the crap S effects on Eddie, despite
it all.
Despite all the shit, it's so good. But yeah.
Nice.
Do you think you would survive?
I actually would, because I would just be like in it. Like, I would be like, yeah, take my clothes off.
Like, okay. Okay, might as well get involved.
I think I would just embrace it. So I don't know if I don't know if I'd survive, but I'd have a great time.
The best last night on earth, don't worry about it.
Yeah. What about you? I don't know.
I'm gonna say yes. If Brad can survive, I think we can survive.
That's true. Yeah, like, that's true.
The only people that die are like from the main cast.
That's true. And like Riff Raff and Magenta like don't have issues with them. It's like
it's
Dr.
Rocky and Dr. Frank-N-Furter and Columbia again could have got away, but she started to scream. She'd have been a great final girl.
Yeah, she would have.
But because she kept screaming, they killed her. So yeah, we'd have absolutely could have got away.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Amazing. Well, that was the Rocky Horror Picture Show episode, which everyone should have seen by now. If you have not, where have you been? Join us again next week for something probably a bit more horror related. But until then, do look after yourselves. Have a good Pride Month. And bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't
die.
But do the time warp.
Always.